My problem with this pardon is not that he gave it, but that he won't muscle up and give blanket pardons to millions.
Okay, so that's where
That's why I was hoping. My problem isn't because people say, well, they say they're for the rule of law. And let me tell you something. What do you think this is? South Korea? In other words, what do you think the United States of America is? South Korea? Because, if it were South Korea, Donald Trump would be in jail because we saw what happened with Yoon Suk Yeol, the president of South Korea, who declared martial law a couple of days ago. And not only did he have to walk that back, the parliament in South Korea is getting ready to vote to impeach him and put him out of office. And the military stood down. What do you think the United States of America is? South Korea? No, it is not. This is not an exceptional country when it comes to any. So anybody, please, or call on in. Call in if you think that he shouldn't have given the pardon because the Democrats are for the rule of law. That's 866. What is it? 866-801-8255. So I really want to hear that argument.
As I listen to some dialogue over the last few days and on radio in particular, and there are a couple angles that I'm trying to flush out. Right. One, he said that he wouldn't. Right. That was my answer because I don't, you don't believe half of the stuff they say anyway.
No. I mean, he probably meant it at the time.
He meant it at the time. Sure.
What? There no rules?
No.
If there ain't no rules, then I don't need. I renege that.
I can do. I can do what I want.
I'm reneging.
I have the option to.
I have the option to be a.
I'm going
to reject that.
The second piece for me anyway, just looking at it. Why wouldn't he have? I keep people saying, this, but why wouldn't he have? It only makes sense that he did. All right. Now, 3, for all the black people lining up, and I'll speak for myself. I was not one of those to line up and say just instinctively, I would have did that for my son, and he did with any father. A lot of people are trying to relate themselves to the position that he's in. I don't have
any dog in that fight.
Right.
Either.
Okay. So
there's nothing to do.
That's what I'm sitting in the car. I'm at the light. I'm like, y'all trying to relate yourself to a position you will never be in, with the authority that you will never have.
And if you
stop comparing
let's be very clear. If you were in that position,
it would not work the same for you.
Well, if you were president of the United States, you would have the blanket pardon.
Okay, sure.
Anyone out there who is saying that, he shouldn't have done it. If you were in that position, let me just go out on a little bit of a limb here. You would have done exactly the same thing. Yeah. I mean, there it is. Unless you just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
unless you're trying to prove a point.
No.
Let him sit for a year. He needs to get himself together.
Don't fall on
Nobody's
that.
doing that.
No. Because, if your daughter was in that situation and you were president of the United States, you would pardon her. Why? Not because you agree with what she did or didn't do, but because the person who's coming into office has vowed to persecute her in January or February 2025 or 2026.
Persecute further than they were already?
Yeah, this is the whole point. He got an enemy list.
Okay, yeah.
They're going back in.
So, and in the final piece.
We could be on that list.
Because
he said the media.
Sure.
If anybody thinks for a minute that these people are playing, you about to find out in January.
Yeah.
And at that point, all these people say, you should have ruled out. Anybody, they said, all you Negroes going to be singing another tune. So get your hymnal to sing that tune.
And if we get on that list, our numbers will definitely go through the roof.
No, because at that point, you're going to have to be indemnity. But here's the point Jim Clyburn was making. Whether or not ultimately you're exonerated, and there's no guarantee of that with this damn federal bench they're stocking. How much did you spend on attorney fees? The whole point of this is to bankrupt people.
Yeah.
This is the whole point.
So and then
you gotta pay attention in the United States of America. What you think this is? South Korea, a democracy?
And then the last piece was, it doesn't. If you and I said this to myself in the car, impress me, and it goes to your final point, which I'm all the way on board with. Impress me. If you pardon him, and you give me this long statement, second chances, unfair prosecution, here's why, he's dealing with addiction, we know he was real. I mean very itemized. That statement was itemized.
Of course.
Itemized. You literally can take that statement and put it on thousands of cases of people who are currently incarcerated.
Everybody who smoked
for
weed
the
in jail,
same reason,
or much lighter,
or even lighter.
Every hand-to-hand herb hustler in the United States of America should be let out of jail on the pardon.
I'm waiting to get to the end of the statement and him be like, my son, like many of your sons
and daughters, no question,
dealing with addiction, XYZ. So henceforth and furthermore, they out too. That's what I was waiting for.
They out. And that's not going to happen because Joe Biden believes in the illusion that there's a rule of law. There is no rule of law. You understand that? There's no rule of law in this country.
But even with that,
or in any country, what's the rule of law if it's on paper and not in practice?
Yeah.
Because it is a travesty of justice.
Yeah.
All these little marijuana pinches, and I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. When I heard the overwhelming allyship of black, he did Daddy Papa Joe. He did what I would.
I hear what you
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, but he's not returning that. The allyship is not going. It's not mutual.
Gonna do it.
It's not mutual.
And this is where.
So I'm like, do we have the wherewithal to collectively come together right quick in about the next 10 minutes and demand that?
I think so.
Because we ran to support it. We ran to the radio and hell yeah, Joe. Trump did it. Hell yeah. That's his son. I'd have did it for my son. Can we have that same energy and be like, oh hey, Joe, we with you. However, we got this short list of demands.
Yeah.
If you want our full-throated, as Karen would say, full-throated support, unadulterated, hey, man, we feel for your son. However, my cousin been in for 13.
Interesting. I think we should. But, I mean, as someone who doesn't have a dog in the fight in terms of political party, oftentimes people say, well, y'all are shills for the Democrats. You should probably slow down, take a deep breath, and listen to literally years of public commentary before you say something so stupid. I don't have any dogs in this fight, so I don't have any expectations that the Democrat leadership for sure, Rahm Emanuel, who they're bandying about to be head of the DNC, Joe Biden, they're soft white nationalists. So their fidelity to us is transactional.
Yeah.
So I don't have any expectations of them either, but they are not the open fascists. Yeah. So let's not be stupid about what's about to happen in this country.
I feel like in this moment, this should be one of those transactions.
No, I agree.
It should be.
I agree. But the only problem is in that since we lost whatever leverage we had on November the 5th.
Yeah.
Because now he's done.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is going to sit in Delaware, or the man is in Angola apologizing for slavery. So in other words, there should be some momentum now. Or if you're going to go to
that's my point.
West Central Africa, and most of those people, and I'm a Pan-Africanist, but I'm just saying in that specific instance, that Angola trip isn't about apologizing for slavery. It's about trying to block the Chinese from taking precious minerals and oil and stuff out of Africa. And Angola is an oil-rich country. But most of those people, most of those Africans who got taken out of what is now Angola went to Brazil. So Joe Biden has internationalized the apology. So since you did that, guess who were the direct victims of that?
Correct.
In addition to kind of Africans, that would be Lamont and Greg and Daryl. And so, you need to do something here. Yeah. But he's not going to do that.
Sure. I just hearing so much.
But I think we should do. I agree with you 100%.
It was like, this love fest with Hunter. Relax, y'all. He pardoned his son. It's like any dad would. But major upheaval, major forward progress, motion, move. Nah, it's not monumental. It's not significant. It's not groundbreaking. Well, groundbreaking is doing like what you do with the student loans. Throw out a little lottery.
There you go.
1,000 at a time.
So are you saying he should, by executive order, cancel all student debt at this point?
Well, I mean, that's another one.
No, if you do that, they're going to sue. But you know what that does? That ties the Trump administration up in court for who knows how long as the appeals work through the court. Now, of course, the complicit Supreme Court will put it on the rocket docket, the shadow docket, and hear it. But so do you think that on the way out for this next month and a half, Sleepy Joe should basically just gum up the entire works?
Well, I don't see why not.
Executive order, pardons, because he can't do nothing about pardons. Well, pardons, he just got to give those. He can't reverse them.
Well, something's coming. Something's coming because this is early.
What you mean?
The pardon is...
so you saying this might just be a preview to the point you're raising. Just throw that out there, see what happens.
Normally the pardons is, most of the time, like the last time, you didn't even hear about them. They was like around New Year's or the following week. You didn't even... It's some people that are out, you be like, when they get out? You know what I'm saying? When I saw Kwame,
the hip hop mayor,
I was like, whoa, when he get out?
Kilpatrick should never be heard from again in public. I mean, you out here shilling for Trump, and as if he gonna help you, he wouldn't even help his manservant. I mean, Byron Donald's still waiting on a call.
Yeah, but
can I be at McDonald's? Can I be the shift manager or something?
If you got me out though,
No,
I don't know, champ. I don't know. But so back to the pardon, the preemptive pardons that Clyburn is mentioning. I'm looking here, and there's really no precedent for that.
What you mean?
The preemptive pardons.
I don't know if that's true. You saying in the history of presidential pardons, going back to George Washington?
Well, I'm sure that'll come up as I'm reading, but they say I'm
not sure, because put it this way, journalists don't do a whole lot of research. Karen is always saying journalism is dead, and I think this is one of those things, because I've been seeing some of those same kind of headlines, but I don't at all trust the writers that have done any research, because I'm particularly thinking about the Gilded Age pardons. I'm thinking about, the criminal. When Belle DeCosta Green was buying books for J.P. Morgan in the early 20th century, this is the height of the robber baron era. So I don't know what presidents did during that period without doing some research. And I'm embarrassed to say that I don't have a book at the top of my head to think about that, but I'm sure if I'm thinking about Grover Cleveland, certainly Warren G. Harding, who was as corrupt as the president as there's been, Teapot Dome scandal, I don't know.
Yeah.
In other words,
it just seems odd because in the current era that most of us are familiar with, I don't think we've.
Oh no, not in the last, but I hear what you're saying. Because in the United States of America, our memory goes back maybe
15?
6-7 hours.
Oh, 6-7 hours.
Yeah, not sure.
15 years.
But does anybody remember who Barack Obama pardoned? Here's a hint. You could probably count them on one hand and have fingers left. But the point is, so are you saying then that he should just get out here? Oh, you're saying you expect a whole lot more.
I expect a whole lot more. And not even in the line of pardons, maybe executive orders, but hopefully
could be pardons, like you said.
It could be pardons, but hopefully they would be consequential. Like the Hunter thing appeals to our emotion. It appeals to our sensibility.
Well, it certainly knocks over the inkwell. He's made a mess.
Yeah.
So now, having done that, he could pardon everybody else who should have been out years ago without a lot. That's an interesting strategy.
And I don't think that's enough for the conversation. I heard a couple people say it. Tesla and Figaro. I've heard a couple people that I follow, social media, whatever, have made. But that should be the primary. It shouldn't be whether we agree or not. Free Hunter. I'm glad he's home.
Well,
I would have done it. That shouldn't be the conversation. The conversation is okay. And
this is why you can have
now next.